Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you see me? It's been a while since the last call. And guess from where I'm calling and doing the transmission at 2020. I think that many of you can recognize these curtains. And I think that this is going to be one of the last times that I'm going to translate myself because because technology today allows us to do much more magic. So eventually I will stop talking in only one, in both languages. Um, of course, at 2020 Egypt time, I am here in Egypt as usual, as I've been 370 days nonstop in the path of the I am. And of course, I cannot show you the pyramids because it's night. It's already night, and you cannot see anything. But I just arrived. I just came back from the Sphinx because I was asking permission. I was, uh, I was, yeah, opening a new door for myself here and for everyone in this portal 1111. So thank you everybody for being there, and I hope you're having a happy day, portal day. So as usual, 1111 for us is very important. For most of you that are following me, you know that 1111 for me is the days that we started all this network, everything that we are doing. So I think it's very very important for me to open and to share um, today a little bit of many things that we are going to start doing very soon. And I think it's going to be step by step how I'm going to share everything. But today I didn't want to leave it as a just a random day. I wanted to put the seed of all this information that I want to share with all of you, and the project that we are going to publish in a while, like in a few minutes or during this hour. So soon we're going to share in a website everything that we're going to do in the next 3 years, because it's going to be another important path that we all together we're going to do. And day by day we're going to be sharing everything that on how you can be part of the path, what is the path, what is the purpose, what is the mission, what we're going to do step by step every day. So for the next 2 months we're going to be sharing every day, or every few days we're going to be sharing a little bit in social media about what is this, and how can you be a part of this. So I'm not going to go deep today in all of that, but I just wanted to clarify certain things. En el próximo mes y medio estamos cerrando el ciclo del uróboro que comenzamos en México en marzo, y que lo vamos a estar cerrando en Neuquén, en Argentina, con el faro del mundo, un nuevo faro del mundo. Básicamente vamos a cerrar todo el ciclo de práctica energética que hemos hecho este año sobre qué es la misión. Porque recordemos que todo lo que venimos haciendo este año 2025, yo dije al principio, iba a ser una práctica hasta que entendiera más o menos qué es lo que tenía que hacer en los próximos años. Y bueno, ya está tomando forma lo que tengo que hacer en los próximos años, y por eso vamos a... quiero empezar a contar un poco qué vamos a hacer. So, as you know, in the next 2 months, we are going to be starting to close the Uroboros path, the journey that we started in Mexico this March in 2025. And this Uroboros is the snake that bites itself, is the cycle in which we acknowledge and learn about what we are doing in these new cycles that we are beginning. So at the very beginning of this year, I told everybody, this year, 2025, will be about learning, about harvesting the information and trying to understand what is the next step. So during the whole year, I've been receiving information, I've been putting it all together, and now I can give a shape to it. So that's what I want to share with all of you, and what we are going to be sharing in our way to Neuquén in Argentina, which is the beacon of the world, and where we are going to end the cycle. So before that meeting, that gathering, that Holy Nada, we're going to be sharing what are we going to do once we finish that cycle in Neuquén. So I don't want to get very long here, because we have time to share everything. So the first important thing that I want to share today in the portal 1111 is that from here, from Egypt, we are going to start a new journey, a new path that is going to be called Alchemia. So for that, we're going to remember what is alchemy. So first of all, where does alchem or alchemia begins? So alchemia is a word that comes from Arab alchemia, and alchemia is actually defining a black soil. So chem is black soil, literally. So al-khem is the black soil, and it refers to all the black soil that comes from the rains throughout the Nile, and all the flow of soil that is very black and very nourishing for the plants throughout the river Nile. So when we talk about agriculture in the ancient times, we would refer to the Nile as the place of the black soil that gives you the matter for the plants. And that's alchem. So what is alchemia? Alchemia is the concept of the transformation of that black soil. So what do we call alchemia? Alchemia is when you get the black soil and this very black limos, I don't know how to say in English, this very black soil is the one that we use to put the seed. So when we put the seed there, then the seed starts to look for the light and it becomes the plant. And after the plant, we have the flowers. And the flowers, when they blossom, they create the energy for the fruits. And the fruit is the alchemical work, the result of this alchemical work. So at the beginning is alchemy is related to agriculture and cooking. Is the transformation of food. So after many years of practicing what alchemy is through agriculture and cooking, then we realized that our environment, everything that we have around, it's also this black soil that is setting pressure on us, that is modifying us, that is transforming us, and it's all this black soil, this limo that is modifying our bodies, our cells, the entire surroundings that we have. So those surroundings can also pressure us, and if we know how to use that darkness around, we can then grow as a plant towards the light, and then we can blossom with our flowers, and then we can turn those flowers into fruits. So that is our alchemical work. That is our result in alchemy. So it was not only, at one point, it was not only for agriculture and cooking, but it turned also into an inner process to understand how we grow as a person. Entonces, los grandes alquimistas eran los que lograron combinar los materiales de la realidad, los materiales de la tierra, con el proceso interior. So the greatest alchemists in history were the ones that were able to grab all the materials from the soil, every plant, every mineral, and use its transformation as a way to transform the inner self. Así es como nacen los magos. Un mago no era un mago así normal o cualquiera, sino que hacía como esto. So a magician, it was not just a person that did magic like this, like, don't ask why I have that. So a magician was actually someone that knew how to modify the mind. So a magician, a wizard, what they used to do was to know how to use the chemicals around, the materials around, and with mind, with tricks of the mind, he would use this matter to create chemical reactions to generate a new idea, to generate a new way of seeing things. So he would use the matter as a way to transform mind. So this is why the magicians were like the guides, the advisors, the masters of all these important people, porque ayudaban a cambiar la mentalidad de la gente, because they helped to transform the mentality of people. So one of the main things that we have in our minds when we think about the alchemist is the ability to transform the lead into gold or the poison into medicine. So, for example, we have been practicing that magic throughout the year of the I Am. Through 370 days, we have been taking concepts that we don't understand, and we took these ideas, objects, concepts, stories, and we started to transform them into a new thing, shifting our minds related to them. So we've been doing alchemy all this time. So one of the things that we haven't actually been talking about is what is alchemy and how do we do that specific alchemy? And one of the things that happened this year is that I have been receiving so many stories and information related to alchemy, to what is alchemy and how to use that alchemy. The stories that have programmed our minds. And some of those processes to access the alchemy has been so profound and so difficult to share because it's been on the going. So it's been so complicated for me to share with all of you everything that I have been receiving and the stories and so on, that it made everything so complicated. So my intention after all this year was to put together the idea of the project for the next 3 to 4 years, in which I can be sharing those stories so we can do the alchemy all together. And the next 3 years, we have a magical opportunity to do alchemy because of the magical astronomical context that we will have. So we have one huge important key for all this alchemical process, which is the longest eclipse of the century that will happen over Egypt in August 2nd, 2027. And this is the biggest of the alchemical unities, because sun and moon together create the biggest of alchemy, and which represents the silver and the gold. So both together over Egypt, the land of alchemy. So that eclipse is the middle point of 6 solstices and equinoxes, and 6 solstices and equinoxes before the eclipse and after the eclipse. 12 solstices and equinoxes that will mark a journey in which in the middle we will have 7 eclipses. that are the process that we're going to live throughout 3 years, that we'll have 4 stages of alchemy. So we have a perfect time for that specific creation of alchemical results. So the beginning of this process, of all this process, will be with the culmination of the Ouroboros work, which is the snake that bites itself. This snake is the one that we're going to work with in Neuquén. We're going to harvest the poison of the snake for the entire process of alchemization to create the medicine. And all of this process of the Ouroboros will be alchemized until the passage of the asteroid Apophis, which is the snake of transformation, the snake of chaos, that is going to cross our planet in April 2029. What we are going to do in all this process, in all this alchemical process, is that we are going to take the poison of the snake of the Ouroboros in Neuquén, this Holy Nada, in December 2025. And during 3 years, we're going to alchemize the poison towards the medicine. And the last bit of the process will be to connect with the snake of the sky, Apophis, to transform that poison into medicine, to get the medicine as result. So throughout these 3 years, what we're going to do is to walk the I am path, the path of the I am, but this time throughout the spiral of the rainbow bridge, which means that we are going to work with every chemical element that represents nature. So every 12 days, we're going to be working upon one of the chemical elements that represents each one of the nodes of the planet, which are 92 of these chemical elements representing the portals of our planet. So what we are going to do, as we in the path of the YOSOY, we did 1 month for each one of the attributes of the I am, a whole month for Aries, a whole month for Taurus, I am, I have, I say, and so on. In this path, what we're going to do is to summarize it in 12 days. The day of Aries, the day of Taurus, the day of Gemini. We're going to do these 12 days, but these 12 days for hydrogen. And that hydrogen, we're going to do the integration day, the toroid day, which is the alchemy day, on the 13th. And after the alchemization, we start with the next chemical element, helium. 12 days for helium, 1 for alchemization, and so on. We're going to be working every chemical element for the path of the AM until we complete the 92. So these 92 elements are the ones that we're going to complete in 3 years. So what we're going to do is I'm going to travel to different places, connect different points of the planet, and we'll be telling you the stories of everything that is happening, as every day we are going to be balancing one aspect of this path of alchemy. So all this journey will be like at least 3 different ways of following it. The first way will be the easiest one, which is just tiny little tasks for every day, just 1 minute, for everyone to be connected and aligned with the idea and the message and the alchemy. The other process will be for those who follow constantly every story and everything that we're going to do together. And the third aspect is traveling, the meetings that we're going to have, the gatherings that we're going to have. So during all this process, every solstice and equinox, we are going to be celebrating every Holy Nada, as we were expecting to do. But this time, they're not going to be events. They're going to be meetings where everyone will share their own power as they go, and we do the tasks together in specific places of the planet. Also, this will happen during the eclipses. So every eclipse, we're going to go through every process of alchemy. Conjunctio, calcinatio, putrefactio. So there are many different elements that we are going to talk about in all this journey. So we're going to get familiarized with it step by step. Also, we're going to have some trips, and those trips are the ones that we're going to use to work the 4 states of alchemy. So the trips are going to have a cost because they are going to be the trips that will help all the rest of the process for it to be free for everyone. So we are going to have these 4 trips that they're going to have a cost because they are going to support the entire process. So these 4 are going to be every February here in Egypt. And these are going to be for only 92 people. And the first one will be February 2026. Then we have the February 27 and February 28 and February 29. So the first date represents Nigredo. It's called Nigredo and means black. It represents the black soil, and that's why I'm dressing with black. So the second one is the process of albedo, which means white, and it's the process of enlightenment. The third one is going to be citrinitas, which is the color of the sun, is yellow, and is the enlightenment of the being, is the awareness, the realization. And the last one is called rubedo, which is the alchemical manifestation and means red. So it's also the ruby or the diamond that represents the final alchemy process, alchemical process, the result. So the reason why I wanted to explain all this, to share all this now, is because we are starting very soon, and today we want also launch the website where we are going to have certain information on what we're going to do, some questions on the whole project and what we're going to do, and and also the first trip, which is going to be in February. So this is going to be the first trip of Nigredo, and which is going to be in February, so in 3-4 months. So that's why we want to launch it right now. So there are 2 reasons why we are doing this kind of trip in February. The first reason is because there's a lot of people that have been asking, we want to do another trip, we want to do more trips in Egypt, and I haven't been doing many trips in Egypt lately. So the other thing is because these are the only trips that I'm going to do in these 4 years. And these are the only trips that the only things that we will do to maintain and hold the alchemical, the alchemical task. So most of everything that I'm going to do is going to be public and free for everyone. So most of it is going to be maintained through the foundation. So whoever wants to help us to keep on going with all the alchemical journey, as we did in the YOSOY during 2020 and 2021. So the Ontos Arsa and Foundation are going to be holding and maintaining everything. So my idea today was mainly to open the door for everyone to know that we are starting this process, and that in the next 2 months, daily, we're going to start to share the information of what is this alchemical journey. So you can make all the questions, and we are going to try to answer all of them in the social media. So so everyone can have the information of everything. So everyone knows how to start and when to start. So very soon, in the next hour, we're going to launch the website, so everyone has the information. As you, everything is going to be in the website yosoy.red, as usual. But many of the things that that were before in yosoy.red, they are not there. For sure, you have seen that the blog is not there anymore. And the reason is because we are restructuring it. It's not that it's going to disappear. It's going to be there, but we need time to set it all up in the new way, in the new shape, with the new information. So I have to thank to all the team, because they're working for everything to be published. And of course we're going to be publishing more things and updating the whole thing as we move on. But everyone is doing their best to have it as soon as possible. So whatever is not ready, just wait for a few days. For sure it's going to be soon. And I also wanted to sow this intention. So I wanted to say to everybody that in the same way that in 2020, 2021, I gave a year of my life in service to this task, because I was here in this room all the time, and I didn't move anywhere, and I was fully focused on this. I wanted to say that I am also giving myself and my life these 3 years for this task. So in this next 3 years, I decided not to have a home. I decided not to have a place to come back. I decided just to keep on moving and going wherever the earth is telling me to go. So another thing that I wanted to say is that as you see me traveling around the world and going places and so on, is basically because I've been working. So I've been working and getting my own resources by working for Gaia or Unity or other people that were hiring me for different things, and that's what gave me the energy and the support to keep on going. But in this project, I'm gonna be 100% dedicated to this. So I'm not gonna be working for other people for sure. I'm gonna be more in myself, I guess. So that's also another thing that I wanted to share. Y sé que muchas personas me han sostenido y van a seguir sosteniendo, y lo agradezco desde el principio esto. So I wanted to thank everybody from the beginning, because I know that a lot of people will help me and will be supporting me in many different ways, so I can do this. And also to have in mind that what I'm going to do is an inner journey of alchemy that I set out there for everybody. So in this year, I learned from Hermetism, in the alchemy of Hermetism, that there are some stuff that I cannot just give my energy away, that there are things that are very deep that needs to be protected. And so there are many things that I'm not going to share to everybody, that I'm not going to post here like I'm doing right now. So there are some things that they're going to look like private things, but actually is to protect myself and protect the message. Yeah. So what I want to say is that there might be some moment that we will say we have certain information, but only some people will have access to it, but not because I don't want for everyone to have access. It's just to protect it. Remember how sometimes in the comments and people watching and everything, there's a lot of people that has been like very negative, and there's a lot of things that are, yeah, like people that doesn't understand exactly what I'm saying, and it's like very very critics and yeah, it's a very low energy, or thinking that we are trying to do this for money or stuff like that. So there are certain things that I don't want to put them out there for these people, just because of respect to myself and respect to the information. Entonces, por eso no todo va a estar público. That's why I don't want to put everything public. Um, so this might happen also too, because many weird things are going to happen in this path. So it's going to be a very weird path. So it's not going to be for everyone to understand at the beginning. So I want to protect certain things because this is going to get weird. We're going to do many weird things, and I want to protect some of them. So it's not that we don't want this information for this information to be out there for everyone, but some information we're going to try to have some filters before. So yeah, that's going to be. So also can happen that, oops, Matías disappeared. He's in the middle of the cave in a mountain for days. We have no idea who he is, where he is, or what's happened, but the path is gonna keep on going. We have certain things established for every day that will be published anyway, even if I disappear. Because it's like 3 years of transformation, so anything can happen. So without saying more, I just wanted to sow this information of alchemia to manifest this intention in 1111. So I went to the halls of Amenti to introduce, to present all this to the Sphinx. So in a few days, I'm going to be in the Great Pyramid receiving more information for this. So I'm getting ready for that. So I would love for everyone to be holding the space in these days while I'm here in this place in Egypt, so I could open myself to download the right information for all of you. And then I'm going to go with Merlin to a meeting in Avalon. So with nothing else to say, I get ready for the path of alchemy. So I have no other option than to make nonsense. Happy 11/11.